Hello, survivors, and welcome to another episode of Will You Survive?
The podcast.
I'm Eric, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Alex.
And today we are covering The Dead Don't Die.
This was by request, yes?
By request, yes.
And it was Nikki Balla Hair.
At Nikki Balla Hair.
If you need your hair done, go check it out.
This is also the same person who recommended Jojo Rabbit.
Oh my God. She gave me no warning.
Yeah, you hated that.
Oh my God. She gave me no warning on that. I was like, it's a really funny movie. And it was up until a point. Then I was like, oh my God. Wow, yeah.
It was really funny all the way up until it wasn't like play war anymore.
When he walked up and found his mom hanging, I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was like, that I got no warning on this. I was so mad. And
yeah, you were just told it was a comedy.
Yeah.
And that's it. I guess I kind of forgot about that ending too.
Taika Waititi.
What a funny guy.
He's wild, man. That's crazy. You know what I did not know going back and watching the Marvel movies is Taika Waititi plays one of those alien characters in Thor.
Yeah, he was also the director
in Ragnarok, which was
Yeah.
the most different of all of the Marvel movies.
It was the most funny.
The funniest one. What is it? What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes, exactly. The guy's funny. That's such a good series. There's like a new, like 2 new series I have to catch up on.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up on that one. And that's another one that we could probably talk a little bit about one of these days.
I don't know if there's any way to survive their shenanigans.
I freak out. No, I think you have a good chance if they're doing what they do all the time.
If you can be a Guillermo, then sure. But
Guillermo, I like how he treats him.
I don't.
I think it's
Neither does Guillermo.
hilarious. It's so silly. But The Dead Don't Die is pretty silly.
It is. Also, I'm becoming a real big Adam Driver fan.
Are you really?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot more of his movies recently, and I kind of go through phases where like I'll really like an actor and I'll watch a bunch of their movies. Recently, I did Dwayne Johnson. I watched a lot of his movies, but I'm kind of falling into like an Adam Driver kick.
I didn't know that this guy had so many movies. Of course, I knew he was in the Star Wars, the 7, 8, and 9, which nobody really liked. The Star Wars fans warned me against it. They were like, "Oh no, don't watch it." And honestly, I never got into the hype to watch it. But beyond that, I just found out that just last year he did a movie called Ferrari. He plays Enzo Ferrari. Mm-hmm. I'd be interested in seeing that.
I went into a racing kick when I had salmonella.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I watched a movie called Gran Turismo, and
was that with Clint Eastwood?
maybe,
No, that's Gran Torino.
No. Gran Turismo. It's man, I don't know the actor. He kind of looked like the sheriff, I think, from Stranger Things.
Huh.
He kind of looked like him. Let me look it up. Let me look up his name, because this was a great movie, honestly, and I've been thinking about it again recently, and I want to rewatch it. David Harbour.
David Harbour. I'm not familiar with him.
You know David Harbour.
Do I?
You know David Harbour very well. He was Hellboy.
No, I didn't watch the new Hellboy. I watched it with...
No, this is the old Hellboy.
No, the old Hellboy was Ron Perlman.
Oh, wait, maybe not. Oh, no, this was the new Hellboy. Damn it. Okay, well, what else was he in? Hang on. He was in Stranger Things. He was in...
Oh, was it the sheriff?
Yeah, it was the sheriff. It is him.
Okay.
So he basically, I don't know, Gran Turismo is a great movie. There's probably some survival. I don't think we should cover it, but it's a great movie. I highly recommend if you're into racing.
So this one, Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Tilda Swinton, Steve Buscemi, Danny Glover.
Yeah, there were so many random big names. You're right.
And then, of course, Rosie Perez played a small part, but what's the girl's name?
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
I was so
played a hipster.
I was so devastated when she died, to be honest.
The way he did it, man.
Yeah,
Jiminy
man.
Cricket.
He really just turned off all emotion, and that's what I mean by that snap.
Yeah.
That's what would have to happen to me if I'm gonna survive something like this. I would have to just snap and just not care anymore.
This isn't gonna end well. What does that mean? Do you really want to know? Yeah. I read the end of the script. He broke
That
the fourth wall so
whole
hard.
scene was so good.
So if you're not familiar with this movie, anybody who hasn't seen it, because until you told me that Nikki recommended this, I was like, what? Why don't I know this movie? But then as soon as I looked up the IMDb, I was like, oh, Bill Murray, he did do this. And I even remembered that he did a little throwback to Zombieland.
When?
So in the scene in the jail, when they had the corpse in the jail and they were like, are you okay doing the night shift? He said, yeah, I'm going to just sleep in the cell next to her. They're like, next to the dead body? He goes, yeah, it might bring back some memories. So it was a little toss to Zombieland when he was laying next to corpses, apparently, as he was pretending to be a zombie.
Oh, I guess so. You think that's a callback?
That was what it had said in IMDb.
Oh, that seems like a stretch.
It is, but it's still like just a recognition and remembrance to being in a zombie film.
I don't know.
Laying next to a zombie, because it's going to be a zombie.
When was he laying next to a zombie?
He went and slept in the cell next to the dead body.
Well, yeah, but I mean in Zombieland.
Well, it was just being around dead bodies.
That is such a stretch, IMDb. No, because then you could say that about any zombie film.
I don't think it's them who did that. I think these are just things that people put connections together. I don't even know if it was
that seems
them
like
or even
such
Bill Murray.
A stretch.
But if you're not familiar, as the warm, bright sun refuses to set and a series of equally perplexing events start to take place, the world and the blissfully unsuspecting residents of the sleepy town of Centerville are about to face the effects of corporate greed, which is very strange. Mm-hmm. Then, as the stone-faced police chief Cliff Robertson and Officer Ronnie Peterson stop for donuts and coffee at the town's diner, unusual activity in the moonlit cemetery and a blood-soaked scene of carnage could only mean one thing. This is the work of flesh-eating zombies. Before long, Officer Mindy Morrison and the glacially beautiful katana-wielding Undertaker Zelda Winston join the team of defenders as hordes of relentless, ravenous undead swarm into the once peaceful town craving meat. What happens when the dead just don't want to die? That was written by Nick Rigonis.
So, Zelda Winston.
She was awesome.
Do I know her from something else?
Yes, this was the master in Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's where I know her from.
Yep.
Yeah.
You might know her from a couple of other things too, but that's the one that I remembered. I was like, wait,
I see it.
This woman, I know her from something. What do I know her from? And then that one hit me, and then I think
what a personality change.
Yeah.
Honestly,
she played the weird so well.
I honestly love it. And if I ever met someone like that, that would be incredible. Because once you realize that's just how they are, dude, they're so predictable. They're just blatantly honest.
Yeah.
And it's kind of refreshing where you don't have to think that maybe they meant something else by that. No, they meant exactly what they said.
You want to know something really funny about her? What we were just talking about. She was in one episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
Wow. Who was she? What was she?
She was Tilda, but I don't know what. It just says one episode in 2019.
Awesome. Okay.
I didn't look up which one. I'm trying to see what else. If I knew her from anything. I don't know any of these movies. I know some of them are really big, like the Grand Budapest Hotel. I know a lot of people who watched that. I never did. She was in Snowpiercer, which I know a lot of people who watched that. I never did. There was another one that I was looking at. Oh, I know where else I know her from. I know. She was the White Witch in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh my God. Okay, so she's been in quite a few big roles.
Yeah, we've seen her around, but then she just adapts so well because then she had that Scottish accent, which I don't know if that was real or not. I have no idea what she sounds like.
No idea. See, that's the thing. She played that weird so naturally that I'm like, how much of this is just her?
I really don't know. And then it made it even funnier that lo and behold, she's an alien.
Yeah. Well, do we think she's an alien or do we think she just knew about aliens?
Oh, shit. I thought she was an alien because she's just downright weird.
I mean, that checks out. That makes sense. But so a katana.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
Okay. So One of the things I love about a true made katana is razor sharp. I mean, that thing is a razor blade. It will cut through anything with just the right amount of force. I would love to have a blade like that but it has to be a really well made katana because that's what makes them so remarkable.
I've also heard that, I mean, I'm sure, a katana is sharp, so you can, like you're saying, a real correctly made katana. I'm sure you can cut with it even if you don't know what you're doing. But isn't that the whole thing with a katana, that you have to know how to use it for it to really be effective?
It's not so much that you have to know it for it to be effective. You have to know it so you don't kill yourself. You will hit yourself.
Well, I think that has to do.
What you're doing.
I think that's part of being effective.
Definitely. I mean, I guess define effective because it'll go through meat, no problem.
Well,
you don't want it to go through yours.
I guess now I'm talking more about ease of use.
Yeah.
The average person in a zombie apocalypse, I don't think should pick up a katana. No. I think if you have nothing else,
sure,
go for it. You don't really have any other options. But that's like, to me, that's like nunchucks. I'm so terrified of nunchucks because I'm going to knock myself out. I have no idea what I'm doing.
That would be funny.
Also, nunchucks, worst weapon in a zombie apocalypse. I mean, I suppose you can do blunt damage, but I feel like that's going to be a lot harder.
It would be a lot harder. I mean,
and a lot more hits.
You get a good pair of nunchucks, and you could definitely crack the skull. You can break the skull.
But like, that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to destroy the brain. Cracking the skull isn't going to do much.
Well, I think when I said that, I meant like you can get to the brain.
I don't doubt that. I do agree. I think nunchucks can be a viable weapon. I think if you really know how to use them,
right,
that can definitely be a viable weapon. But I think just the average person picking up nunchucks and just whack, whack, whack.
Nope.
I think it's going to take a few hits to actually do anything.
Well, one of the things that you would have to worry about, it is a real threat with nunchucks. If you hit wrong, you fling forward, it will bounce back at you.
That would be such a horrible way to die in a zombie apocalypse. Do you know how funny in a movie that would be to
knock yourself out? Dunk. Knock yourself out and then they get you?
Yeah. Wow. But that's what I mean by embarrassing ways to go in a zombie apocalypse. Yeah. That's up there.
That one, having the flu.
Having the flu to me isn't embarrassing. I guess it is embarrassing in like out of all the ways, this is the way. But it's like, that just really sucks.
One of our TikTok followers actually responded to that statement because I clipped that out of that episode, and one of the things they had said was that's why you do need a group, and I agree. Mm-hmm. Like we look at like The Walking Dead. You notice how we never knew how Michonne survived up to that point. We never knew what she went through or any of that when she came across Andrea. She was all by herself all that time, but she was disguised by those two zombies. Trying to survive on your own, completely on your own, I do think your days are numbered. Mm-hmm. I think it's too hard.
I think you're right. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You get sick, and then what?
You can't get water. You were talking about that with food poisoning. What do you do? Like, you need water.
I didn't even really consider that. That is like the easiest solution to that is just have people who can take care of you when you need it, and you can take care of them when they need it.
Yep. Something I never really thought about. I think Fear the Walking Dead may have tried something like this. I know Dawn of the Dead 2004 tried something like this, but I don't really understand how they came to the conclusion that the islands were all filled with zombies. But Catalina Island, that might be a viable destination. I have no
idea what Catalina Island looks like.
It's 26 miles away from shore, so it's not like I guess helicopters could land there, but it's mostly boats, so it's slow destination. You're not going to get somebody there who's sick and dying, and I guess maybe you could, because they do have the expressway that's like 3 hours to get there.
What if we're talking like World War Z zombies though,
where they walk underwater?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Then you're just kind of screwed anyway.
You know my feeling on that. Those are fictional.
Well, I mean, yes, I think we came to the conclusion that the pressure of the ocean would destroy their brains before they could come back onto the shore, but
Depending on where it's at. Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't know. I do think an island would be the best option, or island or mountains.
Like one of the small Hawaiian islands. Imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many islands around the world that are just not. I mean, I'm sure they are named, but that you wouldn't just know.
Right.
There's a bunch of tiny private islands all over the place.
I actually, if you recall, we go all the way back to when we did Shutter Island. There was some islands off of the Boston coast, the Boston Harbor, that they're far enough away that
Yeah, I think we talked about
did.
maybe in the quiz. I think we brought up something like that.
well, the quiz asked us, "Would you like to be on an island?" We said, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah, there's also the Alaskan islands, but those actually it gets cold, but they are a lot more south than the rest of Alaska, so they don't get that cold. It's more like Washington, and like lower Canada kind of cold.
But is it like? Are you talking about like Kodiak Island?
No, like the Aleutian Islands.
The
Or
Aleutian Islands.
I think that's what they're called.
Because I ain't going to the Kodiak Islands.
No bears.
I'd rather face zombies than Kodiak bears.
They're yeah, bears are scary.
Just those bears. I've watched people run off the California black bears and rah, and they run away. Grizzlies, nope, you don't do that. You don't do that to grizzlies. You don't do that to polar bears.
No, if they're white, good night.
You don't hand them a Coke and.
But it sucks because they're so cute. Why? There's certain things that God did, and I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you make polar bears look so petable when they're so not?
Their skin is completely black.
Yeah,
Isn't that wild?
Their fur reflects the white.
Yeah,
crazy. Did you know? I don't know where. I think Japan. There is a capybara cafe, and you can. I think it's a cafe, but essentially, like, you can just hang out with capybaras.
That's weird.
It's the coolest shit I've ever heard, and I want that so bad.
Don't tell me that's a restaurant.
I don't think it's there's no way.
Because those are technically rodents.
They are rodents, but I mean, come on. They're the cutest rodents. I would let them chill next to me while I ate. I wouldn't care.
Chilling on a crocodile's back.
They're dude, anything that can just chill next to a crocodile can chill with me. That is so cool.
So what did you think of the zombies in this one? Because it was different. They had some form of speech. They did repetitive things. I did like that. They said they do the same thing that they did in life. So those two zombies, coffee. I thought that was funny.
It was really
Wi-Fi. That was hilarious.
Really ripping on modern age.
It really did.
Technology. And basically saying that we're all zombies as it is. And I agree.
That's what I thought about Shaun of the Dead. That's what they were saying. Like, you saw everybody at the beginning of the movie. They were all alive. They were normal, but they looked like zombies. And at the end, they were really no different.
Yeah, well, even when they first turned into zombies, he didn't even notice anything was different for so long.
Right.
And
which, that's his obliviousness. But that's what they're saying, is that we are so oblivious as a society. You don't pay attention
to anything around you outside of yourself.
Which I definitely think is true.
I think it's true. I think this movie hit on... It had like a deeper message while also being very funny.
So what did you think about the fact that they're slow, but could you tell that they made them, I would say, they made them significantly stronger than most zombies? Like, they were breaking through everything when, I forget our character's name, but Danny Glover and the...
yeah.
Like, they barricaded them. They were drilling, like screwing the boards to the door and everything, but they were still breaking through.
That kind of leads me to the same question that we had in #Alive. How much of that is super strength and versus they just don't feel it? So there's nothing to stop them from doing that. I think maybe a human could do that if they were willing to break their wrist and shatter their arm. And a zombie's willing to do that while an alive person isn't. Yeah,
the best security in the world, the best security protocol, walls, bulletproof glass, shatterproof glass, tempered, all of these things. All it is time and pressure. Mm-hmm. With enough time and pressure, anybody can get into anything.
I like the idea of barricading on the outside and the inside. Mostly the outside because I think of it like a pole door. I think in a zombie apocalypse, I would be safe. I would at least feel safe behind a pole door unless they started opening the door. Then I'm terrified because now they can open doors. But
True.
A push door, you just have to walk into it. A pull door, you actually have to know how to open. So if it's a pull door and you... I think of barricading on the outside as similar to a pull door. Zombies will naturally push to get to where they're going. I don't think they'll naturally pull. So I think barricading on the outside, at least a few planks would be smart if you had the opportunity.
I think they do. There are at least some movies that show that they will pull on things, but see, that's where...
But that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why a zombie would do that.
I get the basic instinct of eating.
But...
You're finding food. There's food in here. I'm going to get it. Like, even animals that we consider dumb will do that. They'll problem solve to get to food. Not the dumbest animals, but animals we've always considered to be less bright can problem solve and figure out how to...
See, that's kind of the question. How primal are they?
Like I said, these ones could remember something.
These ones I could see pulling the planks off if it was barricaded on the outside.
I don't have a big problem with like Resident Evil.
I could see Resident Evil zombies doing that.
They're kind of weird. They're not, well, especially if you go into the later ones where they were like more genetically modified. Yeah. That's different. But we're starting with the basic ones.
Yeah, the first ones.
I think even if it's accidental, they could pull.
But if you drill them in from the outside,
that's where I think you're right. Like it would have to be a rotten board or too thin or
the zombies would just have to know to pull,
right?
Which I said, I don't think an actual zombie would do that. Walking Dead zombies, I don't think did that. They wouldn't pull planks off.
Well, see, they varied up because like in episode 2, that one zombie picked up a rock and was banging on it. Episode 1, Morgan's wife came to the door and tried the doorknob.
I think we can argue those were very fresh zombies.
But see, that would be the question: is there a difference?
Yeah, because if they're fresh enough, can they? One of these days we have to make an episode where we identify what a will you survive zombie is. Like what kind of attributes in a zombie we believe is a real zombie? Like fast or slow. Can they pull boards or not? How primal are they? Kind of really defining what our version of a zombie is. If we were to make zombies and release them into the world, what would they be like?
Patient zero.
Exactly. Oh, I guess so. Yeah. So tell me about your book. What kind of zombies are they?
That is a great question though, because one of the things I think about that I liked in this one was they were not fast, but they were clearly motivated. So if something sparked them, got their attention, they moved with a purpose. They weren't running. It wasn't like Dawn of the Dead or World War Z.
Yeah.
They weren't hauling, like marathon runners.
Yeah, they were sprinting.
They were just moving. They were shambling still. If I could do a little throwback to Diary of the Dead, that was kind of the same. They were
very
not
similar, yeah.
fast, but they were not like, even when he said shambling, the mummy, he's a shambler. If you go fast, you're going to break your ankles because you're dead, you're rotting, you're not going to go fast. But then you saw these things that were actually able to move with some kind of purpose, if you will. And I think that's logical. I don't think they're going to move fast when they're just shambling around. There's nothing stimulating them. They're just moving. Like, I like the image of even Dawn of the Dead, when we knew that they were all fast, but they were just hanging out in front of the mall and they were just shambling. We interrupt this program to bring you breaking news. A wave of fear has spread through the land as tax season approaches. There appears to be panic and unrest in the streets. We're getting word that 2 brave heroes have discovered a method for surviving the horror. They tell us that if you visit reliabletaxreturns.com, you will gain what appears to be immunity from the fear. Reliable Tax Returns will help you avoid the horror of this tax season. And if you mention Will You Survive the Podcast, you'll get 10% off the cost of your return. Whether you're a full-time W-2 employee or a 1099 gig worker, they've got you covered. So avoid a horde of IRS agents and visit reliabletaxreturns.com and tell them Will You Survive the Podcast sent you for 10% off the cost of your return. That's reliabletaxreturns.com. We now return you to your regularly scheduled program. I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it Adam Driver's character that discovered that you had to hit him in the head?
Well, didn't he just know because it's a zombie?
Did he?
I think so.
Because they shot. Oh, what was her name? I like her because she played like a lot of roles. She was in a movie with Bill Murray before. She played the ghost of Christmas Present in Scrooged. Mallory O'Brien. That was played by Carol Kane.
Adam Driver's character, he was the one who said, "Kill the head." Is that what he said?
I thought so. That's why I didn't know if it was what you're saying. If he just knew.
I think he just knew because I think he was saying like there's
because he read the script.
Well, remember when Bill Murray's character, when Cliff asked Ronnie, "What do you think this is? Do you really want to know?" Yeah, I think it's zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies,
ghouls.
You think it's zombies. So I think he just knew. They're zombies. You got to shoot them in the head. You got to kill the head. Duh.
So, do you remember when we were following Hermit Bob, and he starts talking about the ants? Mm-hmm. That was an accident.
Really?
Yeah. The giant anthills are real and were an accidental discovery while filming Hermit Bob in the woods. Jim liked them so much, he added the scene and dialogue spontaneously.
Wow, I love that.
Because that was disturbing. That was a lot of large ants.
And they were kind of... The ants did seem kind of scattered.
They did.
It was really... it makes me wonder what was happening in that colony.
They might have messed up the hill and like really scared them.
Wow, that's really cool though.
Yeah.
I forgot about Hermit. Hermit what?
Hermit Bob.
Hermit Bob. I liked Hermit Bob, and I like that he ended up stealing that guy's chicken in the end.
Yeah.
Although it made me feel bad for Steve Buscemi's character because he was right.
Yeah.
He was right all along that he took his fucking chicken.
Yeah. But the
also
I like that scene after
Make
Hermit
America
Bob
white again.
Yeah.
While he's talking to the black guy is so funny.
Oh my God. What was his comment? I wish I could remember his comment.
Oh, he was like, "Nah, that's too black for me."
That's it. I meant strong. I meant talking about the coffee.
It's too strong.
God,
while he's wearing a "Make America White Again" hat. That was gold.
You know what I mean. But it was funny because Hermit Bob called Cliff a prick. He called him something, called him a name, and then he shot a gun at him. Mm-hmm. And Chief says, "All right, let's leave." He goes, "But are we going to take him in?" He goes, "Nah." So, but what about Farmer Frank? Well, Farmer Frank's an asshole. He's always been an asshole.
I liked when they were telling everybody about the zombies. I was like, "What about Farmer Frank?" Fuck Farmer Frank.
We got to tell everybody. That was an interesting part. That was when we first saw Zelda go into action, when they went to go warn everybody. And before.
Were you kind of mesmerized by that routine that she did?
Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah, complete control, knowing where everything is, knowing where you are, being completely aware of all of your surroundings. Like that is key. I am way too clumsy. I do not want to be in that situation that she was in where she's surrounded like that. I never want to be in that situation. I'm not that confident.
She was.
I know.
And she let them know.
But that's why
I'm very confident in my abilities.
I wonder if she's a freaking alien. She's like, I'm not going to turn even if they bite me.
That is the biggest twist in the movie.
See, because could an alien be turned? It only affects humans in most of the movies. Most movies don't go down the road where they bite an animal and the animal turns, like Zombievers. Okay, I'm not talking about Zombievers.
Zombievers, and I'm also thinking like, what were some Resident Evil? If dogs can turn, you got to assume everything can turn.
Oh, that's true.
Train to Busan, the deer turned.
But it almost seemed like it was more the other way, that it was the deer that was affected, but it's not like humans bit the deer. It was affected by the bioweapon.
Yeah, that's true. The problem I actually have with most zombies is that the whole thing with zombies is that they want to eat. Well, originally it was they want to eat the brain, but now they want to eat people. So
it's not the brain.
That's what I mean. They want to eat people. It's not the brain. That was the whole eat their brains.
That's only one movie.
Yeah,
but it is like so common. Everybody thinks that, and it was actually a spoof.
But it is kind of like a hallmark, quote unquote, of zombies.
Yeah, but I don't know where that. I mean, I don't know how that became the hallmark.
You know,
when
society.
It was only one movie, Return of the Living Dead, that came out in the 80s. So it's way after Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead came out. Like, it was already flesh eating ghouls. It wasn't brain eating, and then they came out, which was funny because we got to cover that movie. Because it's so silly.
No.
It is so silly. But it has like one of the craziest lines where they actually talk to one of the zombies, and they have it all strapped down, and they put, I think they fed it brain, and it started eating, and they were like, "Why do you eat people?" And it says, "Don't eat people. I eat brains." "Why do you eat brains?" "For the pain." "What pain?" "I feel my body rotting." It's like, oh God, that's awful.
You've talked about that, and then I brought up like Warm Bodies when
I still haven't seen that.
The memories. I should make you watch that. It's a good one.
Warm Bodies. Is that a movie or a series?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's kind of like a rom-com, but it's still zombies and it's good.
Oh, I do remember part of that. I think you were watching it.
It's a good movie. That
was all the way back at Jackson, huh?
I probably did.
Because I remember the scene where like she was hiding under a tanker truck or something like that, and he came and got her, and he was like talking all slow and weird, and he was like, "Follow me."
Oh, at the airport.
At the airport. That's what it was.
Yeah. He took her to the airport. He brought her to his plane, where he'd like made a home out of a plane. And that scene that you saw, she was like running away and realized like the whole airport was just a hive. And there was no getting away, and he came and saved her again.
Oh, shit.
It's a really good movie. I like it.
Okay. That's different, right? Because you actually have a zombie helping you.
Yeah, and it's not supernatural because it's zombies, but it like the whole heart beating and now he's alive again thing is like, I don't know what you would qualify that as, but the dead don't die is very supernatural, I think.
It was what would you call it? No, it was I would call it
the moon was like giving off this energy that was making the dead rise.
Toxic rays from the moon.
Yeah, that
was Hermit
supernatural.
Bob. I mean, that was Hermit Bob. We can take it to mean that was really what it was.
No, but we saw the moon doing that, like that weird coloring thing.
Stuff.
I would say it was supernatural.
That was strange because it was the Earth tilted off of its axis. I mean, I liked all of that stuff because I'm not saying that I think that's exactly what would happen, but I like all of that stuff because it's the kind of stuff that would definitely bring about catastrophic effects on the planet.
I saw an Instagram post where it was like what most people think the solar system is like, and it was the sun,
right?
And then you see the planets revolving around it,
right?
And then it was like what it's actually like, and it was the sun moving through space and all the planets like twirling around it,
right?
Following it,
right?
And that I believe that's more accurate because we are moving through space
and we're only being held on by the gravity of the sun.
Yeah, which is only being held in place by the gravity of, I believe, the black hole at the center of our galaxy. That's what's holding the entire galaxy
That's
together.
just a theory. That's just a theory that in the center, I mean, I think they do know for a fact now that there is at least one black hole in the center of the Milky Way. But that's not the case for all galaxies that are like ours. Like I don't know that they know for sure that is that Andromeda. I think Andromeda is the closest.
Yes, that's the one we're colliding with.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's spooky.
That's something that
I know it's something we don't have to worry about, but
several billion years.
That's spooky. Two galaxies are colliding. The what? Just trying to comprehend that.
Well,
something that big.
Think of this.
Is currently happening.
I don't think it'll be in our lifetime. But nobody knows for sure. But if Betelgeuse goes supernova, we would have two suns in our sky.
What is Betelgeuse?
Oh, it's a star. It's
Where?
a star outside of our solar system.
Oh, okay.
I could definitely be wrong about the placement, but I do think it's in Andromeda. It's such a cool, I don't know. Some people call it Betelgeuse, but I call it Betelgeuse just because I love the movie.
But if it does what? It'll become a sun?
If it goes supernova. So it's a dying star. So
okay, yeah.
And it has enough mass that when it goes into that collapse, it'll go supernova, and that brightness it'll illuminate our sky.
So there's a theory. I don't know how actually backed up by science this is. We've now entered a part of the podcast where I'm just going to spew shit that I've seen on Instagram, and you could tell me if I'm horribly wrong or not. But from what I've heard, there's a theory out there now that black holes are the start of a galaxy. Oh man, now I really feel like I'm talking out of my ass because I can't remember. I don't know if I'm conflating ideas or not, but I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna say what's on my mind, and people can tell me how wrong I am later. From something I've heard, my understanding of it is that we've learned that black holes can collapse, that black holes can eventually go down to a point so small that they just, I don't know what the fuck happens. I think the theory is that a galaxy erupts from them, essentially the Big Bang. And that's the theory, from what I understand, is that the black hole, I'm probably going to cut all this because this doesn't make any sense to even me, but that the black holes collapse and then explode into, like, basically creating space, becoming a galaxy. It sounded way cooler when the Instagram video said
it. Well, take this for instance. Like, I know there's just so much we don't know about black holes. Is the opposite of a black hole would be a white hole, right? So that would be
a light of pure, or a hole of pure light.
Everything coming out of it, right? But now here's the interesting part: is that does not necessarily mean that it would be in our plane of existence, right? If you're willing to acknowledge that there is an ability for it to go somewhere, you have to also acknowledge that there's a possibility that it's not within our plane. Maybe you've discovered the entrance to the fourth dimension, if you will. But I looked it up, and on astronomy.com it actually talks about how black holes die, and I don't know if that's what they believe is the case.
What does this say about that? About black holes dying?
Black holes are regions of space-time where gravity rules. The gravitational pull of a black hole is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. That's all stuff that we know. And then it goes down to where it dies. Let me find where it dies here. But even black holes will die one day. And when they do, these monsters won't go gently into the night. A burst of fireworks will light up the universe in the final moments of each black hole, heralding the end of an era. And does that mean that it can create something? Well, okay, so what's interesting is clearly the obvious is a black hole pulls everything to it. And everything it does not suck into or past the event horizon is brought into a particular gravitational field. Then it dies, leaving all of that matter there, right? So that very well could be a valid theory. You may have heard a valid theory of...
Well, I think that's what they were trying to, like, explain the Big Bang, because from my understanding, the James Webb Telescope disproved what we originally believed for the Big Bang. But like I said, I don't follow this super closely. I catch headlines and hear about it in other podcasts. I'm very well informed.
I got your back. I like all of these things. The problem that I have is I don't know what I don't know, so I don't know the right questions to ask.
That's always the problem. That's where I found when you just envelop yourself into a subject, you eventually are just introduced to those things.
No, and that's like, you have to learn about it so that you know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Let me bring this to something survival-esque, right? There are certain things. Let me just ask you about being cold. I think
Sure.
we've covered this once before.
I hate
But
being cold.
imagine if you're out in the wild, right? We don't have our luxurious home. We're not undercover. You're outside and you've gotten wet, right?
Ooh.
What's your first course of action?
Take off my clothes and let
Take
them
off
dry.
your clothes, and you gotta find a way to get warm,
Uh-huh.
right? So one of the things that I had to look these things up because I saw this guy from the Outdoor Boys channel, Luke. He uses these body warmers that are activated by air. So they don't need anything. You don't have to shake them. You don't have to break them. You don't have to do anything. You just expose them to air and they stick straight onto your clothes. You don't want to put them directly on your body, and they will stay warm for up to 10 hours. So
cool.
if you're talking about being in a bad situation and you have some of those things, I mean, that's absolutely critical. And what do you do if, we're city boys here? The only reason why I know any of this stuff, or even to ask these questions, right? What kind of things exist out there to help you in being more comfortable in a really bad situation? The only reason why I know any of that is because I used to go backpacking. I used to go out there and I used to get really, really cold sometimes, where even fire is not keeping you warm, right? You're trying to stoke the fire and keep it hot, but it dies down so quick in your sleep that you're getting back up, throwing more firewood on and stoking it. You're not sleeping at night when you're doing all of that. I only recently learned a trick that is, again, from the same guy, is you bury coals in dry gravel or sand and lay on top of that. And the coals will stay hot
and
for
keep you warm
virtually the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've heard that. But then you have to have coals.
Well, you have to have coals. So you have to have enough coals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have enough
fill a
fire
bed.
to fill a bed and be able to lay on it. But it's the kind of thing, if you've never done that before, how many people here in the city do you think would even think of these things?
Absolutely not.
And if you
None.
don't immerse yourself in it, you're going to have absolutely no idea even what question to ask.
Well,
right?
okay, I think I'm being unfair by saying none. I think there are a lot of survival people who live in the city. A lot of people who...
A lot? Percentage-wise.
Okay, maybe not a lot. Maybe not a lot. But I would maybe go so far as to say 2% who at least like comfortably like can go camping and are comfortable enough in their skills to, go to sequoias and you probably bring food still, but you're not afraid to disconnect from the world for a bit.
Right. And this is not to say that 2% in Los Angeles is not a lot of numerical people. Like, that's a lot of number.
Yeah, but percentage-wise, it's not a lot.
Right. And
when you're talking about who's going to become a zombie and who can survive the wilderness,
and that's what I'm saying.
98% zombies. Well, that's 99.5% zombies because not everybody of that 2% will live.
And what I like about The Dead Don't Die, I mean, that's a small city. That's a small town, right? Not even a city.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how many people were just instantly turned. Now, they didn't show us it, right? It wasn't like many, many movies where it was just, you saw it one after the other, where everybody's getting bit and turning from that. I also don't think that that a bite was required to turn people in this movie.
Well, I was going to ask that. Did we ever see the diner girls become a zombie?
I don't think so.
Which I was going to bring this up earlier. What kind of bothers me about zombies is that their whole thing is to eat people. So, like, why do they ever stop eating that person until they're down to the bone?
And I've only ever seen one show do that, and that was The Walking Dead.
Like, the way I see it, they wouldn't stop.
Right.
They're not trying to... They are trying to satiate a hunger, but I don't think they can ever actually satiate that hunger. I don't think they're ever going to... I mean, maybe, because that kind of goes down to how much like an animal are they? Because, I mean, animals don't eat until they die from overeating.
Well, that's true.
Typically.
That's true.
They'll stop when they're full.
Eat until they're full. But I mean, can you get full as a zombie? Your body isn't working.
It's not alive.
Right.
So is there anything else
and you're
in
not
the world?
digesting either.
Yeah.
So
is there anything else in the world that's not alive by a technicality and still eats?
Fire.
Okay, well, I suppose, yeah, you got me there.
Fire is so insane because I cannot answer that question. Is fire alive? It eats, it breathes, it dies. It creates waste.
It does need something to be. Yeah, wow,
It eats, it breathes, it creates waste, it dies.
I guess it has no organic matter, though. Isn't that kind of part of being alive? Is having some sort of organic matter? There's nothing that's alive that doesn't have organic matter.
I suppose so, but I mean, is like...
But that's the only thing.
Is the plasma not organic matter?
This could be a dumb question. Does all fire have plasma?
I believe it comes off of the wood, or off of the fuel, rather.
But wouldn't that be like a unnecessary component in creating fire? Like fire can't just
No, that's the weird thing. It's like a byproduct. Yeah, fire doesn't exist on it. Well, no, that's not true either. Out in outer space, the sun.
Well, that's not fire. That's hydrogen.
But it's fire. It's flames. It's ignited. It's an exchange of fuel.
It's
a nuclear reaction.
Yeah, it's a shit ton of heat and a lot of hydrogen and
helium and
yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time answering.
That is a tough question. I would say I think we can. Well, I think I know my answer is it's not alive, but that is a really tricky, like, by a technicality, I think you could say yes. But if you say organic matter is what determines it, then I think that eliminates fire. I don't think fire necessarily has organic matter. I don't think the sun has any organic matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
And that's still fire.
I don't think it does, but how could I say?
That's interesting.
We bring up the real questions here at Will You Survive the Podcast.
These are the real questions. You're right.
Is fire alive? I do.
This is the new is water wet?
Yeah, is water wet? Is water wet? That's a good one.
Is fire dry? I don't think there's any question in that, but
I think yeah, because I think it does. It burns off all humidity.
But then the question is, well, isn't that the same argument with water though? Like water makes things wet, but water itself isn't wet. Fire makes things dry, but it's not inherently dry.
Interesting. And fire does move a lot like water.
It does.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough to answer these questions, but I am smart enough to enjoy them.
We need our survival scientists.
Who do we got? Let's get some people. You guys let us know what you
how
think.
Wrong we are.
And that's why I don't think zombies would ever be a real threat.
I agree, because...
Whoa! I'll get my kukuri!
Wait. I think he's saying something.
Zombies don't talk.
Just wait a sec. What was that?
You need a loan? What, are you going to buy a house?
What do you need a loan for?
I think he wants to buy a home. Don't we know someone who can help him with that?
Yeah, we do. Have you heard of Corinne Salas at Next Home Grandview in Glendale, California?
Mm-hmm. She can help you get moved into your forever home now.
Your eternal resting place, if you will. Or forever home. That works. Don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime like this guy. Call Corinne today at 714-510-6443. You can also find her on Instagram at Next Home by Corinne or visit her website at corinnesalas.nexthomegrandview.com. That's CORINNESALAS.nexthomegrandview.com.
Not food. Frankly speaking, I do think that I can survive this. I think I would be like Hermit Bob. I'd be out in the wilderness. I'd be looking on from afar, watching it. And I would be surviving out there, keeping a low profile, making Dakota fires, not above ground fires.
I agree. That's actually a really good tip right there.
Dakota fires?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep yourself hidden.
In the ground, smokeless.
You have heat.
And they're better fires.
They'll boil your water quick.
They have you basically dig a hole and then you build an intake hole,
mm-hmm.
and that's it. And you start your fire, and it's incredible.
And because it burns so hot in there, it's virtually smokeless, and it'll be warm, so you could lay next to it.
Mm-hmm. It'll make the earth hot. Yeah,
it'll make the earth hot. So, I mean, those would be some of my tips, but
I don't think we survived though.
you don't?
Mm-mm.
Why?
I read the script.
Why don't you tell them about our socials?
Oh no, not me. Okay, let's do this. I got this. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, and all those you can find at Will You Survive the Podcast. We have an X, and on X, her name is Hillary. God, she sucked. No, we have an X account, and it's at Alex and Erik WYS. I'm fucking killing it.
Hit them with our email.
I'm gonna do you one better.
Oh, do me one
We've
better?
got a Pinterest
Yes,
board.
we do have a Pinterest board.
It's the Will You Survive the Podcast Pinterest board, and it's got survival gear, and you should go check it out because it's got good stuff on there, and we make a commission off of it. So, like, help us out and, like, help yourself out. Go get yourself some cool stuff, man.
We even have those body warmers I talked about.
Heck yeah. See, there you go.
We have some good stuff on there. I just added some new things on there, including heirloom seeds, different sizes, different prices. So take a look.
And last, but the most important of them, the place where you can tell us how wrong our science is. And that's our email. And you can email us at Will You Survive, I think, right?
Alex and Erik
at willyousurvivethepodcast.com.
Boom, you got it.
Boom.
You
First
nailed it.
try, 0 mistakes, total professional.
And tell us, will you survive? The dead don't die?